I got to kick this thing off. Can I kick it off? 1, 2, 3, 4. Ladies and gentlemen, listen.
Conversate with Us Radio presents the Man Listen Show. We are the blackest radio show on the internet. We bring you our opinion on topics that affect the Black community in an effort to enlighten, enrich, and empower every brother and sister that falls under the sound of our voice. We operate on the no-hating frequency, so be prepared for us to keep it 100% real and 100% Black all the time. Please follow the show on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Man Listen Show. You can subscribe to the show on YouTube. You can go to our website, www.manlistenshow.com. Listen to old episodes. You could go to our Instagram, click the link in our bio. You can buy merchandise. We got sweaters, we got t-shirts. It's hot. So get you a t-shirt and let everybody know about the blackest radio show on the internet, the Man Listen Show. I'm your host, Marv B. Let's bring the crew in. All right, y'all. So 150 episodes. We've been doing this for 5 years. And so technically, this probably isn't the 150th episode. When we started the show, we were on SoundCloud, and then we switched to another platform. And then there's like 2 or 3 episodes that we lost. But them wasn't the best episodes anyway, because we were still like, getting used to this whole podcast thing. I think the very first episode was me and C. It was C and I. We were talking about the first Black Panther, and then we had a couple shows. We was talking about Bill Cosby, and then there was of course Kanye. I think we talked about Kanye a couple times in the first. Starbucks.
Starbucks one of them early one.
It was Starbucks. We talked about the school, the principal that told the mamas and them that couldn't come up to the school wearing bonnets and shit. And Erika got mad because we talking about wearing bonnets in public is raggedy.
I've been team bonnet since day one, though. You can't say I haven't been. I'm gonna come how I come. You be glad I showed up.
Shout out to Monique.
I'm not gonna lie, I was with you, Erika. Like, you let everybody live, do what they want. But man, the last few weeks, I don't know what has been. Literally, the last few weeks, it's been an abundance of them, and I'm starting to change.
You're in the South now. Welcome to the South.
Hey,
it's the South, baby.
It's bad because it used to be like the little small bonnet.
No.
Now they got them big old bonnets look like Chef Boyardee. It's awful.
Hold on, you need long bonnets to hold them braids. You like the long braids, you gotta maintain those long braids.
But you don't need to wear it out the house though at all.
No.
Yeah, you can wrap it and put a ball cap on and still look presentable.
I also didn't need to go to QT in my Victoria's Secret pajamas the other day, but I did. I don't care.
Did you have on house slippers?
I mean, I had on some Nike slides.
That works. I'm okay with that. It's just the house shoes. Like, it's called house shoes. You don't need to wear them out of the house.
You sure didn't wash your ass when you went out in public dressed like that. We know you did.
No, pajama pants on. You slept in the night before.
No.
Probably didn't even wash your face.
To be fair, my child was like, "Oh, I need some cheer clothes," so I had to go at 6 a.m. to drop them off at her dad's, and I was extremely hungover, and so I needed that apple juice to live, even in my pajamas. I was like, I can go all the way home and put on clothes and back to QT to get this apple juice, or I can get this apple juice and continue to live. It was an easy choice.
I would venture to say, though, at 6 a.m. at QT, you probably were one of the better dressed persons in there.
Especially in the state that you live in.
Everybody was ready for work.
People are going to work.
Yeah,
everybody was dressed for work.
Yeah,
a lot of construction
top and some shorts.
Being there early. Yeah,
everybody's going to work.
Speaking of hungover, that's like one of my favorite parts of the show. Like with Erika will talk a whole bunch of shit, and then next thing you know, she'll grab that drink and take her a drink. I'll be like, this girl right here.
Me too.
It's about to get worse. That's how you know it's about to get worse.
This girl
right
here.
Always bring one. Do say.
Yeah, that do say, or sometimes she swing a beer or something. Yeah, but 5 years, man. We've been doing this show for 5 years. So let me get kind of mushy for a minute. So about 5 years ago, man, I was going through a hard time in life, right? You know, I was having mental health struggle, kind of just going through it. I was said 5 years ago, I was like in my early 40s, like 41. So kind of starting that midlife crisis. And it was suggested to me that I find something to do. Find something to do that I could be passionate about and not involve being dad or, you know, being a husband. So I thought about it. You know, I'm very passionate about like social activism and the Black community. So I was like, you know, I'll start a podcast. And so I'm gonna start a podcast. So I was like, well, I don't want to do it by myself. But sometimes, you know, I'll be on the opposite spectrum of the argument a lot of the times. And I was like, I need to have people that are on the show with me. Have I ever told y'all this story? I don't think I told y'all this. But I was like, I need to have people on the show with me in case I start fucking up or I get like somebody hit me with a nice little contradictory point. I got some people that love me that could be like, oh, well, wait a minute, what about this? So I was like, I got to find some folks that I trust and that I get along with. So the first person I thought about was C. That was my Black Power sister. And I was like, yo, we think alike. Let me ask her if she wanted to be down. And she was like, yeah, for sure. And then I was like, okay. So I said, well, Arika's just as ignorant as I am when it comes to being about this Black Power stuff, right? I said, let me ask her. She was like, yeah. And I said, okay, so I got two smart individuals. I wanted people who were smarter than me, right? Because I was like, yo, who was smarter than me that I could have on this show? That way, you know, if things go left, at least they could carry the show, right? And I could be okay. And then obviously I thought about my brother Lav. Like, for those who don't know, Lav is like a walking almanac. Like he just remembers stuff, right? So I was like, yo, I need to have Lav on the show. So I asked Lav, he said, yeah. There was one other person that I asked to be on the show, but they were like, yeah. But then they fell off. And I think, you know, no shade to them. I love them. But I think the four of us, the connection, the rapport that we have, it's what it needs to be. Like sometimes people be like, 4 people on the show is too much. I actually think like when it's the 4 of us, like it's the best. Like even when it's like not all of us, it's still cool. Like there's some shows where it's just 2 of us and we still have a good time because like we are legitimately friends. But the 4 of us, you know, really, you know, the chemistry between us is unmatched. So I got to thank all 3 of y'all because I don't think y'all know this, but y'all really helped save my life. And 5 years, man, it went by quick. Like this helped us get through the pandemic. Like I don't know, but y'all, during the pandemic, I was lonely as hell. Like I was lonely, so we was recording like damn near every week. So I was so happy to see y'all, man. It was great. So that's just me, man. So what y'all think? What y'all think about the show from the beginning to now? We'll start with C.
So I think from the beginning to now, we've definitely grown a lot. We've learned a lot. And I think for a while in the beginning, we were kind of like, you know, talking, you know, either over each other or just there was like an awkward silence. Nobody knew when to go next. And now, like, you know, we don't even like rehearse the show. It's just kind of like we just know based off of what somebody's saying, who's the next person who's going to actually say something without even knowing. So I definitely think like we're starting, or we have meshed and gelled a lot better since those beginning shows. There's a lot of trial and error. We definitely wouldn't have went live that first year.
It used to be like this. See, what do you think? Okay, laugh. What do you think? It was, it was a lot of prompt because y'all was shy. Like y'all didn't want to talk, and I would have to be like, say something, you know, especially you, see. See, you was really shy.
So I don't know if
she didn't want to let the cat out the bag quite yet.
Yeah,
she didn't want to let the cat out the bag.
Everybody knows she was Republican.
No, I just, you know, you got to just kind of sit back and listen at the beginning just to kind of see, you know, when to jump in. But as far as the pandemic, though, like you're right, like, you know, we weren't really outside. So, you know, we weren't hanging out. Nobody was going anywhere. There wasn't any concerts. There wasn't any vacations. Wasn't any family reunions, friend meetups. And so, yeah, so I think we always like grabbing something to eat, grabbing something to drink, and meeting every week. I think one time we might have met a couple times in 1 week.
Yeah, for sure. What y'all doing? Y'all record? Yeah.
Recording 2
No.
shows back to back.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did used to do that.
Yeah.
I think for me it was balancing having a few sips versus having too many. In those early shows, I think there were a few where I had too many, and it was like, God, Arika, shut up. So I think for me, it was more personal growth because I think that part of my journey as a person was learning the importance of like sharing my truth and being open and honest about like the things that I've been through, but also not just being like giving away the keys to the kingdom. Like I can share my truth without being like, and this is every detail of what happened. Like there's a certain kind of balance. And that's one of the things that like I was thinking about when you were talking. I was like, we found a balance like in how we communicate on the show. And I think even how we communicate even outside of the show, I think that we all kind of like have really learned each other and kind of like grown so close that we really kind of already know. Like it's surprising when we like, what? You don't think how I thought you were gonna think on this topic? Ooh, I can't wait to record this. I can't wait to see how we argue about this. And like it's almost exciting when we disagree because it's like, I already know what you think. I know you so well, but you're gonna school me anyway, and then I'm gonna listen to your perspective and grow from it. And I think that's one of the things that makes me look forward to the show is that even though I know you guys so well, I still learn from you every single time. And I look forward to that.
Lad, what you think, man? 5 years
Man.
now.
Arika kind of hit on what I was going to say is that just learning and growth overall from all of us. And just like you said, personally, I can look at each of you guys and I swear, like you said, I know where Arika's going to stand on this and I know where C's going to stand on this and I know where Mark, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, I agree. And I'm like, what? Well, it makes me reevaluate my own thought process. And it's not just something about that particular topic, but just the way I approach everything and different topics just in the world in general. It's almost like a rehearsal for everything you do, even outside of the show, how your thought process is when you encounter situations or encounter people who have, I'm not gonna say opposite viewpoints, but different viewpoints than what you had or different viewpoints than what you expected them to have. And it's honestly taught me a lot to be, I was already a good listener. I feel like I was, but it allows you to be more understanding and being able to see different viewpoints more.
Yeah. You know, I see growth in all of y'all, and I like to think that I've grown as well.
Yeah, you have. Oh, one other thing, like you talking about early, man. When I had that boom mic, you know, the old school DJ mic.
Yeah, he had the struggle mic. Yeah. Hey, so let's go around the horn, man. I want to do this little exercise. I think this would be cool. So C was the first to sign on. Rika, what you think about C on the show? What stands out to you and what C brings to the show?
I think that one of the first things that I really thought about because I already knew Laugh, and I already knew you, but C was the only person I didn't know. So I was kind of hesitant to kind of see like, I don't know what kind of perspective she was going to bring. And then also like as the other female, I kind of wanted to be like, oh, are we going to vibe? Are we going to like, think the same or kind of not necessarily think the same or be on the same page, but are we going to end up being like at odds or more kind of in tune with how we think? And I think it's been, for me, interesting to kind of like get to know her and realize that we don't necessarily think the same way about different points, but every time she makes a point, I'm like, yeah, I didn't think about that, or I kind of, I don't know how to not cuss.
So go ahead. Don't say it.
Yeah. So, but man, I think one of the things that really stuck out to me was just like, even though, so I came in kind of already knowing you guys think that we were going to have a certain type of dynamic as we knew each other. It didn't feel any different, like the vibe with C. Like I didn't feel like we had to like kind of get to know each other or work into a vibe. I kind of felt like we all kind of meshed from the beginning. And I was like, okay, not like, you know what I mean? Like I gotta get to know her and like kind of figure her out. I was just like, oh, she's interesting. I like this. Okay, all right. What's she gonna say? What's she gonna think? And I know people had a problem with us like agreeing with each other too much in the beginning, but I would be like, yeah, what she said. Yeah, yeah. That
Yeah.
part. Yeah.
That's me too. Like if it
Yeah.
was just like, if the topic wasn't like, like seriously deep and I didn't have like a strong opinion, if I felt like Marvin Lab had the same opinion, but Rika's was different, I'm like, okay, well, I gotta back my sister. So then I gotta go in hard and I didn't flip my opinion just to match hers. I'm like, I'm not gonna let her go down by herself. So I think that you're right. So the dynamic was a little bit different. It's just kind of like you said, it just kind of flowed. Like, we didn't know each other, but now I feel like you're one of my closest friends. Like I genuinely care about you. So that's why when they be like going back and forth, I got your back. I'm gonna change my opinion sometimes because I'm not gonna be letting them go in like that.
I know.
You'll change your opinion for me. Y'all all be going in on me, but
No, as long as you was
what you
wrong.
think about? Oh, I ain't gonna let y'all. What you think about C, man?
C is somebody, especially that I think that I've been able to learn different perspectives and appreciate different perspectives more. And lately, pun intended, I think that she's been.
No. C is notoriously late.
This is one of those moments where I can't let y'all do my sis like that.
Notoriously late. So yeah. We call her CP time.
I was late today too. I logged on literally 1 minute before you, sis. Don't let them do you like that.
Man.
Go ahead on that.
No, but seriously though, she, it almost made me reevaluate, black quote unquote Republicans, because in my mind, when you think of Republican, you think of I'm gonna say everybody thinks of it, but a lot of times you think of anti-black, anti-civil rights, and everything like that.
Clarence Thomas.
Yeah.
Herman Cain.
Right.
Candace Owens.
Right, Kanye. But you can see that there is room for opposing, or not necessarily opposing, but differing opinions. Contrasting opinions, we've said on this show many a time, sometimes we're almost blindly giving our votes to the other party, and to see someone else who's standing on that's standing on what they're standing on, it's nothing but respect and love, and it's obviously something that I can learn from.
I admire C tremendously. I have to say that, we say we the blackest radio show on the internet, right? Out of the four of us, and it's so like, it's surprising because C is the one Republican on the show, y'all. And by far, C is the blackest.
Man.
See, hey, people talk about, we're going to let so-and-so into the cookout. C be like, nope. They ain't coming. Nope, they can't get in.
Not if I'm on the door.
It's not on my watch. Look, see the man. Look, all the stereotypes about being black, like being late all the goddamn time. That's C.
Just not gonna let it go.
At all.
Yeah, but
I know you're feeling the show, but picture your ad right here. If you want to advertise with us, hit up the link in our bio and we'll get you on the show.
But anyway, I really do admire my sister, because not only is she intelligent, she's very thoughtful about what she puts out there. Like, I run my mouth a lot. I'll talk. C is very efficient with her words. And when she says something, you can tell she really thought about it, and she's not putting out any bullshit at all. Not that the rest of us do, but some of us may have a lot of filler in between, the points that we're making. C's just going to bring it right to the point. And she's not going to waver on it. She's not going to waver. And I really admire my sister, and I'm glad she's on the show. I'm glad she said yes to coming on the show. So, all right, C, what you think about Rika?
Man, you guys said that so eloquently. I don't know if I can match most of
Be yourself.
that.
Right, be efficient. Yeah.
I'd say about Rika, just the fact that, I love the way like she can like switch it up. Like, you know, she's brilliant. And so she could just like she could be speaking to us like she's speaking in front of the Supreme Court and go down like laws and everything like that. And then 10 minutes later, she could just flash and take a shot of that Douce and just like go into herself. Like she can just genuinely be herself and just switch back. And I feel like she can conform in any situation. And so I always think it, you know, it helped that you did good by bringing her on just so that we know like what to say, what not to say, what we need to cut out of the show, what we could say live. And then when we do talk about a lot of those controversial topics, like a lot of things, like we go off of opinion, but really opinions don't convict people in the you know, in the law. A lot of times we're like, you know, this police officer should be arrested, he should do that, or somebody should be fired because they said this. And then Narika brings like, you know, that knowledge, like, well, you know, he can say whatever he want to say, you know, he can be fired but he can't be arrested. And so that's what I always like about just having her on the show.
Yeah, for those of y'all know, Rika's the resident attorney, so when we talk about legal matters, it's important that Arika weighs in because she brings the legal facts to our arguments.
Facts versus our opinions.
Facts,
Yeah.
right.
Man, what you think about little sis?
Man, you know, I straight up, it's not over. I'm not gonna. It's not hyperbole. It's not exaggeration, but inspiration, honestly. Because I was like, man, she works here for this lawyer. She does this lawyering on the side, hold down the family. She do the show. She writing books. I'm like, man, she running marathons. I'm like, man, come on. Well, you know, I got time to do anything if I really want to. And on top of that, like she said, what she says and what she brings to the table as far as the facts, a very brilliant mind. You know, and at the same time, when she hits that switch, though, it's like, oh man, she has me cracking up sometimes. You know, a lot of times, and that's just something I really admire. She does so much from such a tiny body. So much comes out of that. So that's a salute to you.
Yeah, I would say, you know, Arika's Doogie Howser, so. The three of us, Arika, Lav, and I, we all went to college together. So when Arika arrived, she literally was Doogie Howser. I think she was like 15 or 16 on the college campus. So we're talking about a brilliant mind. But the characteristic that I really admire is fearless. And that's Arika. You know, she's not scared of anything, anybody. She's willing to go toe to toe with you, whether it's throwing hands or using her mind. She can go East Saint. She could go full East Saint, right? Or she could go full Condoleezza Rice. You know, I'm an attorney arguing in front of the Supreme Court. And that type of versatility is admirable. And then also what I like is how authentic she is. You know, I am an oversharer. Arika is an oversharer, but I think that sometimes when I research, like, why am I sharing so much about myself? A lot of times I do it because I want to lead by example, show people like mistakes I made and being vulnerable so people can learn from what I do. But also, if I'm honest, people who are oversharers, they tend to have a small hint of people pleasing. You know, if I tell all my business, then maybe they'll like me or whatever. With Arika, I'm 100% certain she's just being herself. She's just being authentic. This is me. I really don't care about your judgment because this is how I want to live my life. And that goes back to her being fearless. Because like she said, so you know, sometimes she learned, well, maybe I ain't got to tell all the details. Some of the early episodes, she would tell like all the details, and I was thinking in my head, like, yeah, I'm about to edit all that shit out. Because she don't realize she telling too much right now, you know. And not that you can't be honest about your opinions, but like you was telling all the biz. I was like, yeah, she's telling biz about family members, her kids, everything. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this out. So yeah, you know, that fearlessness, you know, I know we needed that on the show. So I'm so glad you said yes. I'm so glad you said yes to come on the show. So go back to C. What you think about Brother Lav?
So I think you nailed it when you did the like kind of like the why you pick certain people. It's like the walking almanac. Like I could be like I'll be stuck like trying to tell a story and I'll try to like go back to like an example of something in like the news, especially when it comes to sports. Like I can go back to like I'll be like, well, something, somebody did this in a baseball game and then Lab will unmute and chime in and tell you exactly who the pitcher was and then what date it was and then what happened. Same way with basketball, football, just anything. Like he just remembers, like you said, just so many random facts. And he kind of has like that cool laid back personality. So I think sometimes when you and Enrique get a little amped up, Lab just kind of comes in there, and he's just kind of chill and laid back. So then that kind of brings y'all down a little bit, it kind of like it rubs off on y'all just a tiny bit. And so I definitely think he brings that to the table. Just it might be a little bit, it's a little bit.
Just a little bit.
But yeah, I think it's just like you said, just a wealth of knowledge. Like if I this was me, like early in the show, like I used to, when I tell you wing it, like I still wing them sometimes, but I used to like really wing it. Like you be like, so this Thursday we're going to talk about this. Well, I'm pretty much just watching ESPN or nothing, because I don't really watch TV like that. I don't watch movies. I don't watch news. I don't read nothing. So we'd be like right on the show and I'd be trying to read and don't even know what I'm talking about. So then I go to bring something up and I'd be like, well, I think somebody said this. And then Lav will chime in and be like, well, no, actually they said this. And then, he'll tell me like what the real quote was. But I've been doing better though lately.
Yeah.
Lately, just a little bit. It's a little bit.
Why you playing? I'm the same way. Like I'll research it, but I'll know like, I'll say like, well, I think, and usually when I say I think, I'm waiting for Lad to be like X, Y, and Z. And I'll be like, yeah. So
just like last show, I think he had to look up or had to tell us something. I don't even remember what we were talking about.
Name an episode. It's always the same. He always calls. Yeah. For real. Rika, what you think about Brother Lab?
I think the same, like C said, I feel like I'm kind of like a firestorm and I just kind of burn through life. And so I gravitate towards people who are very grounded and very calm and very centered. And I think that that's definitely Lab 100%. And the thing about Lab is because he's so calm and so centered and so knowledgeable, when he speaks, you listen. It's like, I don't know if you guys read that 50 Cent book. You listen, be quiet. But he's just like, when everybody else is yelling and you're talking calmly and quietly, people stop yelling and be quiet and like lean in and try to hear. To me, Lav is that person, because when he says something, for one, he knows what he's talking about, because he's not going to start talking until he knows what he's talking about. For two, he's going to be 100% accurate. So you might as well just take notes while he's talking, because it's going to be right. And then for three, it's like, well, all of you all over here, when you get through with the rah-rah, when you want to come back and have a civil conversation, when you want to get back to the dial, when you're going to get back to the center, then we can start really having a conversation where we're hearing each other and understanding each other and communicating. And I think he definitely brings that balance to the show, whereas, we're kind of loud and kind of rah-rah, and he's just like, well, these are the facts and this is the calm perspective and this is really, you know what I mean, an alternative way of looking at things that kind of turns things kind of on its head for me, because it's like, of course I'm right 100% of the time, but then here comes this alternative perspective of like, well, that's also interesting. I mean, I'm still right, but I'm listening. Tell me more. And so I think that's one of the things that I really love about like being on the show, because it's like you said, it's like, okay, so I did some research, but clearly I didn't do enough research, because Lav knows 100% more about this topic than I know. I don't know where he
Lav know what the sentence seemed like. Yeah, this cop got sentenced. Like, what was he charged with? We'd be like ringing it like, was it first degree, second degree? Like it was manslaughter. It got that real
page 38
deadpan voice. He'd be like, oh yeah, manslaughter.
That actually happened. We were saying somebody should have got the same amount of time as somebody else. And he's like, well, the charge was different. And then Rika comes in and says the charge is different. I think Marv and I were still like, he still should have got that much time. We're going off opinion. But so basically what we're saying is listen to Lav about everything except for buying Lakers tickets.
Too soon.
Oh man. But all that was previous. I ain't gonna lie, man. Lately, now that I have a real little one, man, because I used to just sit up and scour the internet and just read. You know, I mean, seriously, I do. That's what I do in my free time. But I don't be having the time like that anymore. So I might not be as accurate.
Yeah, Lav got a toddler, so you know his time is different. But
Right.
you know,
We
like
haven't
y'all-
noticed.
like I said, like y'all said, the accuracy in his arguments, his ability to stay cool, calm, and collected during a debate is something that I admire because, you know, we debate all the time. You know, Lav and I are in the same fraternity and we got guys that we are always debating different topics. And whereas I'm a Pisces 100%, I get emotional and, you know, we're ready to cry and fight and all that old shit. Lav would just be like, you know, come with this response, and then he'd be like, "Yeah, why I didn't think of that?" You know, because he's not emotional about the topic at hand. There's times where he can get riled up, you know. Normally, when y'all all are going against me, but for the most part, he's cool, calm. And you know, the other thing that Lav has an uncanny gift of doing is his zingers. Lav can come up with those one-liners that are funny as hell. They're always like apropos. And it's always like he always make you laugh. You know, he's always quick to come up with something, and it's hilarious. So again, like I said, when I wanted people who I knew who were smarter than me on the show, like Lav's one of the first people I thought about. I mean, because I know a lot of smart people, but I also the vibe and the chemistry that's between us all, that was important as well. So I pretty much knew, even though, like you said, Arika, C didn't know y'all, but I knew all of y'all, so I knew that it wouldn't be an issue. But yeah, Lav is brilliant, just like the three of y'all. So we can skip me. Y'all ain't got to say nothing positive about me.
You're not off the hook.
Right.
Go ahead.
You
Sir.
assume
Go ahead.
positive.
I know.
No, I don't. Because look,
what happens when you assume?
I'm always the contrary opinion on this. Like, what was the show? Like, what was the show that was real bad? Oh, the Chris Rock show. The Chris Rock show, that was our highest rated show too.
Or Monique.
or Monique. The Chris Rock show, Monique or Nas. I'm guaranteed it's gonna be against all of them, and it's gonna be
the NFL. Yeah.
I was right about the NFL. I was right.
You boycotted the NFL until the Chiefs went to Miami that first time, and boy,
not true. That's not
bro,
true.
you booked the flight, the hotel, and the ticket.
We can roll back the tape. We can roll back the tape though. When did I say I would stop boycotting?
You didn't say it until after you got back from Miami.
When did I? No, it's on the tape. See, when did I say? Lav, Arika, we're talking about facts. When did I say I was done boycotting?
I'm like Lil Wayne, man. I don't remember half of that.
I'm Ray Charles to the bullshit.
See how you go. When we talked about on the show when Kaepernick settled.
But you still wasn't watching though.
I know he's talking about when Cap got that all-white legal team. He was like, now I can't ride with Cap because Cap done went out and got all these white people to capitalize on his struggle when he could have got an all-black legal team.
Yeah, but he wasn't watching it though. He still wasn't watching.
No, I wasn't watching it, but I sure did go for this. I did go.
That's different though. Super Bowl. There's so many people there that at the Super Bowl that weren't even football fans. Yeah, they weren't even football fans. You know what I'm saying?
Super Bowl ain't about football.
Exactly. That's what exactly.
About
all I'm saying is he was done and had everything booked in
I'm still done.
hours.
I watched 2.5 NFL games.
The AFC Championship game ended at 8. By 10 o'clock, he had all of his confirmation.
But she's not wrong. He was
9:15.
like, I don't support the NFL, but I do support kicking it.
I'll be in Miami. Shit. Yeah.
I don't watch the game.
Hey, it don't take much to get me to Miami.
Hey, look,
man.
they got the right tickets that time, though, didn't they?
They did. They had the right tickets that time.
Hey, look. And still, when I was there, I was trying to stay low key, and then my best friend Dennis did like a little selfie. He was like, "Marv," and I look, and you could see on my face where I was just like, "Yeah, he set me up. He posted that."
He's like, "We outside. Look who's not boycotting anymore."
Right. But see, what you got to say about your boy Marv?
Man, like the Steve Harvey of podcasts. Might be. Yeah, don't you have like 3 of them going?
You got 22 jobs. That's what she's
right.
saying.
Yeah. he got like 3 and I'm just thinking, man, if he's recording with us every week, and then with the second one every week, and then the third one every week. But I mean, like the same thing you said about all of us. Like, I mean, I think all the knowledge that you bring, and then of course, you know, you and I think exactly like. That's why I call you my brother. Like, I feel like we are, even though we just don't have the same mother, same father, but you are my brother. And so I think everything happens for a reason. And I think this podcast was something you needed, but it was also something that all of us needed. And it just kind of prepared us for what was coming. Because, you know, if it wasn't for you and this idea to put this together, I mean, I think the pandemic would have been just as hard for us as it was for a lot of people. I know a lot of people were saying that they were like, you know, sad and they couldn't hang out, but I felt like we was doing this every week. So it was just like a Zoom party, like every Thursday, every Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever we was doing it back then. And so I just think that, and not only that, like you have so many other business ventures that I won't, you know, mention on the live right now, but that are just like thriving and doing well. And so that's something that I just like genuinely admire about you. And like you said, you have been through some things or just some life changes here in the last couple of years, and you kind of like just stayed resilient through it all. Like, I don't think if you didn't tell anybody, like I would be willing to bet no one would know. And I had to say, I admire your 2022 and 2023. When I say like catching flights, man, this brother is never home. So that's why I said I'm not gonna say, I'm not telling it. I'm just saying,
catching flights.
Man,
and
talk about frequent flyer, Mike. You living your best life.
So.
Yeah, I appreciate it, sis. Yeah, you are my sister for real. Rika.
So you already know, like you said, like, and I was telling somebody the other day, like coming into Mizzou at 16, thinking I had it all together, and then being like basically pulled to the side by you and the frat, being like, you know, you don't know what you're getting yourself into. And that guidance and that kind of like really like unconditional, like brotherly love, that was 1998 and we're in 2023. And it's like there has never been a moment where I didn't feel like I could call you if I needed you, or I could be like, I need some advice about this, and it's something about having that kind of foundation that makes you stronger in life, because you know that if I stumble, if I fall, I've got people in my corner. I've got people that I can go to for advice, for wisdom, for guidance, for just love or support, or for get your act together, because sometimes that cussing out is what you need more than anything else. And I feel like having a brother that's going to give you both, not just a yeah, you doing good. No, you messing up. Do better. You better than this. Get your life together. All that, and having that, and then having that in you, in a person that I already admire and respect, and then you thinking of me to come on the show to be with these other great people. I was just like, me? You think people care what I think? And it's like, I love like really arguing with you, because a lot of times we'd be like, no, absolutely not. But then we're like, okay, you might be a little bit right, but it's more fun to argue with you because you get so fired up.
Hey, he doesn't change his opinion no matter what either. He is not going to back down.
Easily.
He can be all three of us. He's going to argue all the way until we hit stop on the record thing.
And then he's going to be like, you know what?
And he knows he's wrong.
You had a tiny point at minute 3, but I wasn't going to acknowledge it.
He knows he'd be wrong.
No. Tell what I really say. I'd be like, yeah, no, y'all motherfuckers full of shit, right? You know that's true. you know, don't try to make it seem like I be phony or whatever. I be real deal with my stuff. I be like, you know, y'all.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, yeah.
You be like, you had a tiny point at minute 3, but overall, you wrong as hell.
Wrong.
Yo. I know it's getting good. We're gonna get right back to it. But check it out. Imagine your advertisement right here. Just click the link in our bio and we'll hit you up.
I think the time when it was like you against the rest of us was at that Monique show. Like you
just she was going against DL Hewley.
Yeah, DL.
That one and the
a Netflix one.
And the Netflix one.
Yeah.
We definitely have had some favorite topics.
Yeah. And favorite times of bumping heads. But I think the good thing about it is not only did you come with the vision for this show and you
Yeah.
provide the guidance and the structure and all the behind the scenes editing and all the stuff we don't even think about. I just get to come on here and talk a lot and then go on about my day. You actually edit out all the inappropriate things that I say, which, as you guys can imagine, quite a bit because I like to cuss. But it's like to even have taken what you feel like was assigned to you as a hobby and to have grown it into something where
Mhm.
it is a bona fide skill. This audio editing and production and like even just producing a podcast and bringing together talent that can even work together. Yes, I call us all talent because we speak in our growth and well-being into existence. But you know, I mean, just bringing the right people together to create the right mix on this show, on your other podcasts. It's like, you know, this is the vibe that's going to be very productive as far as the message that we're trying to send out. That's a different level of production, of thought, of foresight for, you know, I mean, just not even just today, but what the plan or what the path is. And everybody doesn't have that. And you're doing that in your spare time.
Yeah.
So, and writing books and all the other things that
You
you're
know what I'm
doing,
saying?
being dad, and, you know, it's like with all these life changes that you have going on. And so I just think that maybe you should shine a little bit of that light on yourself that you shine on all the people that you
Man,
love and know that, you know, we love you just as much.
definitely. He's definitely underplaying his hand. He's like, I wanted people smarter than me. Okay, you know, that's, you know, I know the tactic now, you know, to butter us up, right? You know, but at the whole time he had the master plan, he had the vision, you know, and he's built it into a conglomerate now. You know what I'm saying? He's ready for world domination. I'm here for it. I appreciate the brother on so many levels, even before the show. Just like you said, we're fraternity brothers, so I've known him, you know, a long time and been through many ups and downs and different situations with him. And I can say I definitely have seen his growth, and I appreciate that because it does when you see your friends and brothers, whoever grow, it puts you in a position where you're like, man, I need to reassess and I need to grow. You know, just it's definitely, I like when he does have an opinion and I don't expect from him. Because to me, that's one of the things where I'm like, man, I really appreciate that from him because I do see the growth. He talks about it all the time. You know, like when he was in his 20s or when we were in our 20s, we made certain decisions. We did certain things that, you know, we've grown from. And it's good to acknowledge that because a lot of times, I don't know how everybody's family structure was, but sometimes people of our generation, the parents didn't share that they made mistakes, you know, or the acknowledged mistakes or things that they did in the past. And it was just, hey, you know, you're out there learning on your own. Don't do this, don't do that, don't do that. And so sometimes you were a little too I'm trying to figure out the right word, but you were scared to make mistakes, basically, you know, when it's just a natural part of life. And it's good to see that all of us, especially, you know, including Marv, are embracing, I'm not gonna say embracing our mistakes, but acknowledging them and being able to have this platform to discuss them from time to time and things that we may have wanted to do different or could have done different. And just in the 5 years, just seeing the different stages of life of each of you. You know, everyone's gone through a transition in their personal lives, from one thing to another. We're not the same people we were 5 years ago. So just overall, again, the growth. But back to what Erika was saying, it wouldn't even be there if he didn't have the foresight and the vision to be like, hey, I want to put this together. I want to do that. So definitely quit selling yourself short. You are innovative, brilliant mind of your own, man. And I look at everything you got going on, and I salute you, applaud everything you got going on, man, for real.
Appreciate you, bro. And I really mean that when I say I'm not trying to buddy y'all up in terms of the level of intelligence that you all bring day to day in your lives and your arguments and, you know, putting your opinion out, because it takes a lot to put your opinion out on this show and to make yourself vulnerable, even if you're not like Arika and I, who tell almost all of our business. Still, by putting your opinion out there, you are putting yourself out there for criticism. Like, we've had shows, I think everybody except for Lab, we put a show I post like a clip on TikTok, and like CEO leave an opinion, and like everybody on TikTok, she's crazy. I think it was the Deion Sanders episode. So he was talking about how Deion was trying to be pro-black, then he went to the white man's university, and they was giving her the blues. And I was just like, and, you know, I can't,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? I agree. You know, Arika posted an opinion, and Arika go back and forth with folks, you know what I'm saying, which is funny to me. And then, of course, some of the opinions I put out, like especially the Chris Rock episode. The Chris Rock episode, so many people were talking dirty about me. I can't stand that dude. I can't even listen to him. So I just appreciate y'all even be willing to do this, because, you know, I remember one time Arika had told me, like, yeah, I was talking to some people that were mutual acquaintances of ours, and it was clear that they had an issue with me and my viewpoints. And, you know, not only did Arika have my back, but it let me know that a lot of times our episodes, we don't get a whole lot of views, but people are watching, they're listening. They may not leave a comment, they may not share, but they're watching and they're listening in some shape, form, or fashion. And I have to give a shout out to the people. We've been doing this 5 years. We're on our 150th-ish episode. And there's been several people who have been down for us for a long time. Brother Joe listens to every episode and leaves a comment. Listens to every episode and leaves a comment. Janine, Sultana, what's my man, C? I'm having a brain fart. What's the brother's name? Philip, listen to every show. Shout out to Philip. There's people who listen, and it trips me out all the time, where I got like tight friends who don't listen to the show, right? And when we first started the show, it used to hurt my feelings. I was like, man, I'm putting out this product and people don't share my stuff, they're not supporting it. But then I realized that the world is filled with, how many people in the world, Lab? What, 2 billion, 3 billion? I had to ask Lab.
Say, what are the current numbers, Lab?
A lot.
Right?
A lot.
And what I had to learn was we gave him all them damn props, and then we went to him, and he
I didn't check my world population clock today.
But but it used to hurt my feelings when I was like, damn, man, you know, our people don't support us. And then there's two things that I realized. Number one, we're talking about the upliftment of Black people, right? What do we say? We want to educate, enlighten, and enrich every brother and sister on the sound of our voice. And a lot of times that's not a popular thing to do. A lot of times our opinions aren't popular, especially with the people that we know. And then you got to realize too, that sometimes your people, they don't really want to support you. But if you look at the number of people that you actually know versus all the people in the world, you go after the people who actually do support you, right? You go after the people that don't know you, who don't have an agenda, who say, well, listen, I don't really like what you have to say, but it's entertaining, so I'm continuing to listen, right? And it always trips me out when I run across somebody who they're like a distant relative or an associate of mine, somebody who I wouldn't even consider like a tight friend, and they'll come up and they'll sing the theme song. They'll sing the theme song, or they'll be like, you know, I listen to y'all all the time. And I'm always like, for real? I'm genuinely shocked. They're like, yeah, I listen all the time. I listen to every episode. Y'all keep it up. So shout out to everybody who supported us. You know, if you donated money, if you bought a shirt or a t-shirt, or if you shared the show, you ain't even got to spend money. You can share the show. You can tell people, hey, yo, subscribe to the show, man. This is a cool show. It really means a lot, because yeah, it's our show. It's not my show. It's our show. And when we blow up, the four of us are going to blow up, right? And I saw something on social media that said, if you're not willing to put 5 years into something, you're not willing to put 5 years into something, you really don't want to do it. We're on year 5. And I look at all these podcasts, they got all kind of big major corporation. They got, money behind them. We doing this on the shoestring budget, y'all. We ADOS. You know what I'm saying? The wealth gap hits us too. And in a couple of months, when Joe bring them student loans back, shout out to C. Look at C face. When the student loans come back, we're really gonna need the donations. So, but y'all, we're gonna blow up, y'all. We're gonna blow up, and I hope y'all ready, and I hope y'all willing, because I'm gonna make the phone call. Look, it's time to quit, but we're gonna be on somebody's channel, somebody's network, for real. But some of the funniest stuff, man, that I like. Let's see. The one time I forgot to record.
He got the plug at Fox.
Huh?
C got the plug at Fox Nation.
You know what? I'm not entertaining you. I mean, you should have CNN.
Some of the funniest episodes. The one episode I forgot to record, and I was like,
that wasn't funny.
Oh
I said
That was such a good episode.
and it was such a good. I was like, y'all gonna kill me. And the look on C's face the entire show, and it was like she was like staring at my square, like you black motherfucker. Like, why did she was hot? She was hot. I try to think what.
Oh, it's hotter than fish grease. He said, "Oh, y'all know what? I forgot to hit record."
Yeah, that was funny. Then the time we was talking about what was up, girl? Violet, what's her name? Violet Davis. Mm-hmm. She was talking about the white man. She was calling him like she was trying to say he was a hunk, and she was saying hunky. And Rika was like, "How was that cool?" And Rika thought we were saying honky. That's that was hilarious. Oh, and in the episode where me and C was clowning Jonathan Majors making them duck lift. If y'all watch that episode and y'all see me and C clowning, I still watch that episode and die laughing.
Side note, he made the biggest come up in history, maybe.
Megan Good. Oh my God. What a win.
From the snow back to like a top-notch sister.
Yeah.
Man.
Which is why I think the other girl must have been like tripping and wilding out. Because I mean, Megan's like supporting him at his hearing. So I'm guessing maybe he was breaking it off with the other one and she just flipped out.
Oh no. Hey, but where y'all want to see this? Where y'all want to see the show go, man? What y'all want to see us do?
I want to see the show go to Paris, France.
We supposed to be the blackest show on the internet.
Hey, it's a lot of black folk in Paris.
There's a lot. There's a lot of this. We don't say that word, but that's why Jay-Z and Kanye, C's boy, made that song.
My boy.
Such
a lot, and the majority is two different things.
Yeah, there's a lot.
No, we should go to Jamaica or somewhere, or Haiti, where they got their freedom first.
You don't watch this. We definitely ain't going to Haiti right now. We definitely that ain't gonna happen. Listen. I've been known as somebody born and raised in Top City. I go to everybody's hood. Like when I go to a new city, I go to the hood. Like show me where the black people live at. Haiti is one hood I ain't messing with right now. And like I want to go like Cap Haitian, like it's beautiful. Like the beach and the water, everything is beautiful there. But that'll be the last episode. Go to Haiti. That'd be the last one. Remember that bootleg preacher in Harlem when he was preaching and the robbers came and robbed him? That's how we be.
For that ring, all his
he got robbed for his car too or something.
Right.
Yeah, he got robbed like 2 weeks later. I'm like, man, what is he not carrying anything?
Pack it up and go home.
Right. You don't got no security, you don't carry a gun, nothing.
Start over in a small Midwest town.
Yeah, but let's see what you want to see next for the show before we wrap it up.
Shoot. I mean, just I guess another 5 years and then maybe we'll be on TV.
I'm with that.
And I gotta do my makeup every time we record.
We're gonna have you.
Wait, is that a thing?
Hey, but check it out though. Tyler Perry just bought BET, so we might be cool. We just got to holler at Medea.
Yeah. Buy my book. Turn into a TV show. Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
That's real though. He really did buy. I don't.
Man.
I ain't seen no ink.
I seen a lot of people talk about it, but I haven't seen like a quote unquote reputable I've seen a lot of like gossip sites and
Mhm.
Instagram posts saying that Tyler Perry
Yeah,
bought BET. I haven't seen it, and not that the white man's media source is better, but I haven't seen
right,
it on CNN or actually I haven't seen it on BET's website.
I haven't
right,
seen
right.
Tyler Perry say, "Hey,
Yeah.
look at what I've done
It-
today," because he sure couldn't wait to tell us when he bought all that airport
Yeah,
land,
Yeah.
whatever.
yeah.
But
When he
see,
bought the studios, Tyler Perry
right.
Studios.
The
He
thing,
had
the
But,
thing with
but
it,
Tyler ain't got to own BET to give us a contract though, because like hell, his shows is on every channel anyway. So
but his shows like
Yeah.
Mr. Perry,
BET
Mr.
is
Perry,
already Tyler Perry Network from what they show. You know, what I mean,
yeah,
half the shows are his
yeah.
shows. You know,
Most of his movies are awful.
Yeah.
You're not trying to get us no deal, see?
That damn Republican just we trying to get a contract. You up here just
I'm just saying, y'all
Trying to get on, we over here.
Mr. Perry, she didn't.
You know what I'm saying? My favorite movie in the world is Why Did I Get Married To? You know, so
Why you trying to
Nah, mine was the
I
one.
like the
What was the
first
one
one.
with what was the one with Tiana Taylor where she was like Byron?
Byron.
Byron.
Was
Oh
that
my
Family
God.
Reunion?
Especially when he found out that Bow Wow found out he was the baby. He was like, "You see,
Yeah,
who the
I
baby?"
think that was Family Reunion. I think.
Yeah,
bring it up?
I
But
didn't
them,
like that one.
but them braids he put on Shamar Moore, I didn't think anybody could make Shamar Moore not fine, but Tyler Perry could do it. No one could make Shamar Moore not fine.
Hey,
Shamar
man.
Moore, one of the finest men ever.
Listen.
You put them weak braids on
Listen.
his head.
Hey,
it destroyed
That was
Listen,
actually
we-
that was one of his better movies when she pushed him in the hot
The
tub
wheelchair.
out that wheelchair.
we gonna have to sign with Byron Allen. Y'all keep insulting Mr. Perry. Like, stop. Now, what was that the one with Janet Jackson? Why did I get married? Is that the one with Janet Jackson?
Uh-huh. She's in both of them. One.
Wait,
Jill
what
Scott.
she said, "Oh, you doing the bending."
Oh yeah. No, that's a different movie, isn't it?
I don't know. That's what I'm asking y'all.
No,
No,
you're
she
talking
was in
about
Why
for
Did I Get
colored
Married?
girls.
She was in Why Did I Get Married?
Yeah, but that quote he did, that was for colored girls.
Oh, okay.
That's Tyler Perry, though, ain't it?
I think so. I think he did that one. I
I
can't
think he
remember.
did too.
Yeah, that's Tyler Perry. Yeah, that's Tyler Perry. Rika,
All
what
I
you gonna see
know
from the
is
show?
that I couldn't watch it past when they turned my boo into a baby killer.
Oh, which one?
What's the green eye?
Oh,
Yeah.
Michael Ealy.
Michael Ealy.
Michael Ealy. Yes, you know I
Mhm.
love him. We go
Rika.
together except for him and his
he played that part too good.
wife.
Hey,
Yeah, once he threw them babies out the window, I turned the movie
Rika,
off.
I
I've never
got
seen
two
it.
questions for you. Number one, what you want to see next from the show? And number two, if Tyler Perry signs us, are you gonna wear the Shamar Moore braids?
I would wear those braids proudly. Put those braids right on top of these braids, and I would even swoop the baby hairs.
Tyler Perry signs us, I'm gonna put some braids on too.
Hey, me too, man.
Y'all
Hey,
gonna
man,
rock
for
them
real.
braids.
I'm gonna have one big braid down the middle of my head.
You're gonna look like Tong Po.
That was some Mr. T, shave the sides and braid the middle.
You know, I
But
pity
what
the
you want
fool.
to see for the show, Rika, before we wrap it up? Yeah, I get into it.
I really would just like to see our vibe and connection grow, because I think that as the years have gone on, like Lav kind of mentioned, like we kind of just know when somebody else is gonna talk, so it's less like talking over each other and less like kind of, you know what I mean? The learning process, the learning curve has gotten like really like impressive to me as far as how things have gone. Most of it is, you behind the scenes making sure our lighting and our camera and the microphones and all that looks better. So we just aesthetically look better as a team. And if we could just, get me to comb my hair on a regular basis, I don't know. We really will be national syndicate ready.
If he send me that PDF,
Bow.
Oh, listen, hey, that's behind the scenes talk, y'all.
Yeah.
But listen, shout out, because we live on this episode. Shout out to my brother Dennis. Shout out to my girl Nikki. Shout out to Adrian Wells. Shout out to Jeannie Preston, my boy L, Janine Mitchell Payne. Didn't mean to get your government. My boy Brandon, Top City. What's up, brother? They said, yeah, we need y'all to come back. No Haiti. Yeah, everybody was talking about the Braves and us going to Haiti. They said that's a big no. But listen, y'all. The main thing.
Wait, and then Yolanda too.
That's Nikki. That's Nikki.
oh,
Never mind.
But she went to Missouri with us. But the main thing I want for the show is for us to stick together, for us to remain healthy, remain friends. We've been through a lot of changes, a lot of life changes, losses. We got a man listen baby. Lav waited till he was in his mid-40s to have a baby. So, Lav gonna be 51 with a kid. While the rest of us got grown kids.
We're gonna be on vacation.
Right. Just go ahead and break. But I just want us to stay healthy, man, to stay friends, stay with this vibe. I have whether we make a dollar at all from this show, the love that I have for y'all and the respect that I have for y'all, this is a major part of my life. It's a labor of love that I am going to continue to do as long as y'all still want to be down with me and to do this show. We're going to do that. And, when somebody, the right person, sees this show and they're like, yo, we want to see them. We think we can do something with this. We're going to do it. And when we do it, we're still going to be what? The blackest radio show on whatever network, whatever TV, radio channel we on, because we keep it 100% black and 100% real all the time. So with that being said, what do I always say? I think we talked about it enough. Make sure y'all follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at manlistenshow. Subscribe to the show on YouTube. Leave a comment. Go to our Instagram. Hit the link in our bio. You can buy merchandise. Our Cash App is on there. Hey, listen, if we get everybody to follow us on Instagram and YouTube to give us $1.50 for 150 episodes, y'all can fund the show for another 2 months.
Or if we get everybody to give $1.50, we could go view the Titanic wreckage.
No.
That's a one-way trip.
I don't even like Subway sandwiches.
I went on a submarine. It was the worst experience of my life. The pressure on my stomach. I was like, oh, I drank too much yellow. I can't take it.
Look, hey, we could probably do a whole nother show. You know what? I don't want, now that we know they gone, they done went to the upper room. I don't want to joke too much about it. But black social media don't take nothing serious.
Nothing serious.
The memes that we saw about these billionaires going on a damn sub. Somebody said you went to go see the Titanic and the damn sub that y'all was in didn't even have no windows. What you pay $250,000 for?
So I was thinking that too. How are they gonna see something?
It was one window. It was
one window on the booty.
Only one could look at it at a time.
Talk about just having money.
They was kneecap to kneecap.
When they showed the scale of how deep they are, like when they showed like the Statue of Liberty and the Empire State Building inverted, and they was like, this is how far the giant squids could swim. This is how far the great white whale could swim. And then they was like 6,000 feet below them. I was like, what makes you think that was a damn good idea?
What did you watch?
It was on social media. They had like a scale.
You put that together.
Yeah.
Like who made that little submarine?
Like,
and I did learn though, but you know what's something?
Camera.
Another random fact. I didn't know they had fiber optic cables running the entire length of the ocean across the ocean. I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. How'd they get down there?
They installed. They're not at the sea at the floor, but there's fiber optic cables that run across the ocean.
Here goes the almanac.
And I learned that. I learned that yesterday. I didn't even know that. I was like, dang.
You learned that. All I did was see memes talking about the price of going to the Titanic wreckage, $200,000, becoming a part of the wreckage, priceless. That's all I learned.
Hey, you remember they said that book when we was growing up called Encyclopedia Brown? We'll call it Encyclopedia Lab. Did you know there was fiber optic cables? Like, man,
straight up. Who knew though?
We'll holler at you next time. Peace.